So I've done over 500 miles using the new version 11 software, and well, I think we need to talk about it. Hey there, welcome back to the channel, and as mentioned, we are talking about the things that I like and dislike about the V11 update in the Tesla Model 3. I've just recently updated the car, and you may have seen my other video where I went through all of the features, but I've actually done 500 miles in the car since having this update. So before we jump into the things I like and dislike about this update, I want to mention a couple of things. And number one is, I think it's incredible, as a Tesla owner, we get to come into our car and have things on the car improved, or we just get brand new features like new games or improvements to things that didn't work quite as well as they should have. But the second thing I want to mention is this absolute Tesla fanboyism, which I think is getting a bit silly. I'm seeing in Tesla groups that I'm on, when someone mentions something they don't like about their Tesla Model 3, or someone does a video and they mention one thing that they don't like about the car, they get bombarded with these absolute Tesla fanboys who say, if you don't like your car, just sell it, get a nice car again, go back to petrol. And they just can't handle anything being bad said about the Tesla Model 3. And I think it's a bit of a shame, really, because I do like this Tesla community, and I've had it before, even in my channel. You know, I say 99% good things about the Tesla Model 3, but I've had it where, doing a video about everything I love about the car, I'll say one negative thing, maybe the window wipers are rubbish, and I've actually got 2 DMs from people saying, just get rid of your car, why do you hate Tesla so much, your channel's rubbish, and all this kind of online hate, which I just think is a bit silly. Now, I don't take it personally, but I have seen on some Tesla forums and Facebook groups where people have just bought the car and they're asking, you know, simple questions about how do you use your phone with the car and things like that. And people just get so aggressive, and I think that needs to stop. Let me know in the comments if you've seen that yourself in some of the Tesla groups. It's a shame because I love you guys, I love this Tesla community that we're all building, and of course, I love the car. But anyway, let's get into the things I love and the things I don't love so much about this version 11 update. Okay, so number one, and it's the fact that you can't view Tesla Superchargers on the map quite how you used to. I wasn't aware that this had moved until I was actually driving and trying to look for them. You used to be able to tap this area on the top left here and then tap and you'd see all of the Superchargers. Now, you still can do it, and it took me a day or two to realize that this was here, but when you go to navigate now, it's now in the top menu here. So you can see I've got home, I've got work, and I've got charging. So if you press charging, this will now show you where all of the Superchargers are. Number two is profiles. Now, I'm actually the only person in the household who drives this car, so I don't switch between driver profiles, but I used to have a couple up here for switching to like an office mode. So if I was charging, I have my seat roll all the way back, the steering wheel move in, and I just thought that was a great way to move between people, but also move between different seating positions that you might want. And they've gotten rid of it completely from the top bar here, and I don't think that really improves things. Next up is Sentry mode viewing. Now, you used to have a little red circle up the top here that you could press to not only record a Sentry mode incident, and you can still do that by honking your horn or using your voice command, but it's no longer up there. And I used to like that one because you don't necessarily always want to honk your horn to record. I thought it was just a nice stealthy way of doing it. Now again, you can still do it, but you have to press the car and go into this quick menu here, and it's just not as easy. Next up is window wipers. Now, there used to be a nice little window wiper icon on the bottom here that you could tap to adjust your window wipers. Now, yes, I am aware you can do this with a voice control, and you can also do it by pressing the stalk on the left-hand side of your steering wheel. But I just think it's a bit of a shame. We've got a lot of white space in this area now and a lot of space here in the bar. I think they could have added that, or at least enabled those who wanted to use it to have it in the bar here. Next up, they've moved the position of the screen demisters for the front and back windscreens. They used to be down here in the bar, and they've completely gotten rid of them. You can't even add them in as a shortcut. And I think, especially here in the UK, where we get winters that can last for a few months, and that's a few months of where you may need to demist. Sometimes it's just the humidity that we have here. It just means that you need to demist your car in the morning. And I really liked it, just having a little simple tap there that you can use just for ease of use. And I know a lot of people are going to be commenting saying, well, it's still there and you can do it by tapping this or tapping this button here and getting it up. but it's just not as simple as it used to be. It's not like they've added anything in the place of where the demisters used to be, and it's just hidden behind a couple of extra taps. And this is the sort of ongoing theme with this version. It's that things are still there. You can still do them. I'm not saying that anything is particularly hard to do. It's just they're hidden behind extra steps. And I would like the ability to at least add the things in I want, or at least have a winter mode. So for example, in the summer, you know, it's not very often that you really need to demist or de-ice your back windscreen, but it would be nice if those actions popped up maybe in winter, something like that. And going along with the temperature controls, they've also removed the heated seats from this bottom dock here as well. Now, to access them, you can either tap manual, and you can sort of control the heated seats here, but you can't turn them on unless you've got the HVAC system running, which is a bit of a shame really. I know some people like to have that off and then have their heated seat on separately to conserve a bit of energy. And then secondly, they've done a weird thing here where you have to control the rear heat seaters by tapping a rear button, which, you know, isn't complicated, but it's a bit odd. And then when you're here on the rear, you no longer have the ability to tap the front heat seaters here. And I just think that's a little bit odd. Why have they done that? I get that you can control the rear and all that kind of stuff, but why remove the ability to adjust the front heat seaters? It seems a bit odd, and again, it adds another step in that you need to learn. And again, I'm not saying it's hard, it's just a bit fiddly. I don't like it. I prefer the old way of doing things. Next is tyre pressure. Now, you can still get to tyre pressure by tapping your car, going to service, and then it will show you the tyre pressures there. But, you know, when you're driving along, if you're driving past a garage, you may just think, oh, I'll top up my tyres, how are they doing? It's a bit more fiddly to tap this, tap service, and then see your tyre pressure. It used to be just a little card that you could swipe along, and I used to do it every now and again just to make sure, especially in the winter months, that my tyre pressure was normal. So I think it's a little shame that they've removed these scrollable cards here in the bottom right. Next up is the very strange manual controls for the heating system. So you used to have a little slider that you could sort of slide along, which you can still do, this still works, but it's a little bit fiddly. They've kind of greyed out and made the sort of touch points a little bit smaller, so they're a little bit harder to hit as you're driving. And if you want this little small menu to come up, you have to tap this first. You can't tap the main one because that will bring up all of the full controls. You actually have to adjust the heating to bring up the kind of mini menu, which I think is just a little bit odd. You know, sometimes we want to turn on a heat seat, we want to turn on the demister, and there's no quick controls for that. So you actually have to turn your heating up if you want the quick control here, and then you can access your heated screens and heated seats and things like that. So again, just an odd choice. Next, in the things that I kind of dislike is the fact they've gotten rid of the cross at the top here. Now, you can slide down apps like you used to, but as you're driving along, I used to just like hitting that X at the top there. I don't know about you, did you use it? Maybe this one is a bit of a nothing issue, but I kind of wish they would bring back the X at the top. Now, a feature I love, but I wish they would update a little bit, is this dock here. I really do like the fact that you now have color icons. I think it makes the apps easier to see. And I really like that we can move and reorder the apps that we want down in the dock. I think that's a great feature. What I would like though is the ability to maybe add 5 or 6 apps here and maybe get rid of this recent app icon here, because generally I've found while doing all the driving I'm doing, if I've opened the toy box up while I'm supercharging, I'm not going to use that again very quickly whilst I'm driving. It would actually be better here to have another tune-in service or karaoke or something else that I can keep fixed in here. 4 is okay, but I just think they're kind of wasting a lot of space here by not allowing you to have an extra 1 or 2, or at least change the recent apps with maybe a permanent app of your choice. And next up in the things that I'm not a huge fan of, but in an ironic way I am a huge fan of, is the live Sentry mode. I think that's a great feature. I've been showing it off to everyone. I think it's incredible that you can view your car's cameras when you're in a hotel room, when you're in your home or in the office. I think that's a great feature, don't get me wrong. But it feels a little bit redundant because, hear me out here, if someone is near your car, unless they're absolutely smashing the windows in and the alarm's going off, you're not going to get any notification that someone is near your car. So unless you're watching the live Sentry mode 24/7, you're very unlikely to ever spot something. Now, I've actually put this on one of the Tesla groups and people said, well, it's just so you can check your surroundings. But I don't really know why you would need to check the surroundings just continually. I think it does need to have improvements to Sentry mode in general done, so that it doesn't go off just when people are just randomly walking by 6 feet away from the car. Because I don't know about you, but I come back to the car sometimes when I'm charging in town, and just every time someone walks off, I've got a Sentry notification, and I have hundreds there. So I would like to see a slight improvement. Maybe I only get a notification for Sentry mode if someone tries the door handle, or if someone is actually leaning against the car or hits the car. That would be a great feature. And then if someone was breaking into your car and you got a live Sentry view notification, at least you could run down. If your office is up 2 flights of stairs, you could come down and you could check your car's okay. If someone smashed your window, you could make sure that the windscreen is covered. All these kind of things. Or you can hit record. I mean, that's the other thing. Even though it is recording on here, you don't have the ability to record it on here, just in case someone comes in the car and takes out your USB drive, all those kind of things. So that's last on the things that I dislike about this update. So now let's get into the things I really do like. Okay, so first of all, this fresh design, I really do like it. I think in terms of how it looks great. I really do like the added colors. I like the dark mode here at the bottom with the dock. I think it would be nice to be able to change that, but I really do like that. I like how the apps display. I like the customizable dock. I like how the new menus are shown and the kind of more blocky looking menu options. I do think it's really nice overall as an update, and I think it's going to be nice to see how this progresses over time. Next up, I like that we now have a scrolling music display. So when you're playing a song on Spotify or a radio station, you'll see now that the actual title scrolls along. It didn't do this before. So if you were ever driving along and you wondered what song was playing, you could only see a tiny amount of text. So it's nice that they've now added this scrolling music bar, so you can now see what's playing in your Tesla Model 3. Now, I've mentioned it before, but I'm going to mention it again. I really do like the live Sentry mode viewing in-app. I think it's a really cool feature that, again, you don't really get on any other car that I've seen. And the ability to view the cameras around your car is fantastic. Now, I don't have the update. I have the 2021 Tesla Model 3 from made in China, but I don't have the one with the external speaker like a couple of my friends do. So I can't speak to people, but I've heard that if you do have that, you're even able to speak out your voice from the car, and that's really great. I think, again, if you got a notification that someone was around your car and you could just say, "Oi, move away from my car," that would be a great feature. Next up is the indicator blind spot. Now, I wish they would have like a little yellow light here in the wing mirror that some cars have, but they don't. So I've always wondered, why don't they use the cameras? I have seen this in other cars, and finally they've added it here, and it works really well. As soon as you press the indicate left or right, you'll get a little display here, and it will show you that side of the car's cameras, so you can check your blind spot, which I think is a fantastic safety feature. Next up is Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, I have played a few of the games before on the Tesla Model 3 whilst I've been charging, and I do have a controller in the car. So being able to play Sonic the Hedgehog, I used to have this as a kid. I used to love this game, and it's just nice to have that nostalgia back in the car, and a real game that, you know, many of us really love. You know, if you own a Tesla, you probably are of a certain age where you've played Sonic before, so I think it's great to have it in the car to use whilst we're charging. And finally, there's an improvements to the subwoofer, so you can now control your subwoofer and add a bit more kind of bass and sub in the car, and it's really nice to see that we have these full music controls, and it does actually make quite a big bit of difference. So play around with that. Let me know in the comments below if you like all of these updates. So that's the main take that I've taken from this update. They are the things that I think could be improved, and some of the things I like. And I just want to reiterate, I'm not slamming Tesla too hard. Some of these features that I've mentioned that I dislike, you know, are easily to get to. They're not, I'm not saying they're hard. I'm just saying I feel like the update has moved in a bit of a negative direction. What I always found with every other update that we've had is that it made things easier. And that's how I rate a software update. Does it make something faster and easier? They're the two things, the two boxes that I want ticked. And this update has made a few things slower and harder to do. And I don't think that's a good thing in a software update, especially in a car when we're driving at 70 miles an hour and we want to quickly adjust something. I don't think things should be buried in a menu or hidden away under 2 or 3 taps. I really do think they should be at your fingertips, or at least they should have the ability to add these yourself if you want to add them back in, because we've had them before and now Tesla has taken these features away. Now what I would say is I follow this stuff a lot online, and it looks like Tesla and Elon Musk is listening. I saw this tweet where it looks like there is going to be another update soon to improve this update. So let me know what you think about this update in the comments section below. And as I've mentioned, I've been driving around a lot for Christmas. I did a road trip to Norfolk to see my family, and then I went to see my wife's family in the Cotswolds. So as usual, I've filmed these 2 little trips and I'll make a little video out of that. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next video.